Good evening. I'm Bob Redding, the Automotive Service Association's Washington, D.C. representative. I'm reporting tonight from Capitol Hill. I'm pleased to report that the U.S. House of Representatives has passed the latest COVID-19 economic stimulus legislation by a vote of 359 to 53. This is a result of months of negotiations and small business organizations like ASA advocating for a second Paycheck Protection Program. Tonight, the small business provisions included in this legislation total approximately $325 billion. This legislation passed tonight includes a second draw Paycheck Protection Program. Within 10 days, the Small Business Administration, after President Trump signs the bill, will be required to produce or publicize regulations or guidance for the second draw PPP. In addition, for those loans $150,000 or less, there will be an easy form to fill out for forgiveness. In the past, we've had some difficulty with the forms. The smaller loans, $150,000 or less, in the new second draw PPP will be much simpler and easy to fill out with regard to the forgiveness provisions. In addition, I'd like to cover just a few items that this legislation includes that will help automotive repairers that are applying for the second PPP. Additional eligible expenses to include for the PPP include covered operations expenditure expansion, payments for software, cloud computing, and other human resources and accounting needs. Any covered property damage related to public disturbances that have occurred in 2020. Additional supplier cost. Finally, covered worker protection expenditures like personal protective equipment and adaptive investments to help a loan recipient comply with federal health and safety guidelines or any equivalent state and local guidance related to COVID-19 during the period of March 1, 2020 and the end of the National Emergency Declaration. The selection of the covered period for forgiveness allows the borrower to elect a covered period ending at the point of the borrower's choosing between 8 and 24 weeks after origination. In addition, the Paycheck Protection second draw includes eligibility for those businesses that employ less than 300 employees, demonstrate at least a 25% reduction in gross receipts in the first, second, or third quarters of 2020 relative to the same quarter in 2019. Finally, an additional provision that we think will be of much value to our members has to do with a clarification at the Internal Revenue Service. That clarification states, the bill specifies that forgiven Paycheck Protection Program loans will not be included in taxable income. Will not be included in taxable income. We think this is very important. There was much confusion about this piece from many of our members, and we received a lot of questions about this. Loan size will be up to $2 million. In addition, a sizable amount of money was added to the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, EIDL loan program, which was also popular with many of our ASA members. $120 billion was included in the stimulus package for unemployment insurance, providing an additional $300 per week from December 26, 2020 through March 14, 2021. $166 billion for direct payments to American citizens, $600 per person for those with a gross income of $75,000. For couples filing $150,000 or less, $1,200, up to $2,400 per household. Up to $2,400 per household. The Senate is expected to take the bill up later this evening or tomorrow. Important for independent automotive repairers to remember, there was a lot of interest in keeping cash for the clunkers out of the economic stimulus legislation. A number of repairers were active in lobbying Congress on this issue. And I'm pleased to say this evening, in addition to the second PPP passing the U.S. House of Representatives, the stimulus package did not include a cash for clunkers provision. Did not include a cash for clunkers provision. We're very pleased with this. ASA would like to thank thousands of independent automotive repairers that contacted members of the House and members of the United States Senate in support of a second PPP program and in opposition to any stimulus package, including a new cash for clunkers program. I'm pleased to report that we've been successful with both initiatives. Hopefully, we'll be reporting to you later this evening that the Senate has passed this legislation and sent it to President Trump for signature, or at latest tomorrow, sometime tomorrow. Thanks again for watching tonight. If you have additional questions, please go to our legislative website, www.takingthehill.com. Thank you and good evening.